I know it's coming from a root of some bullshit. So that's all I'm just doing right now, bro. I didn't think that hip hop would get thrown into the Stephen Fetchit conversation after having it, like literally.
Hip
But
hop
it's okay.
compared to Stephen Fetchit is disrespect. I'm just gonna say it. I don't give a fuck what y'all niggas are saying.
How is it different from Stephen Fletch? I'm
Here we
not saying that.
go.
Listen. I'm not saying that every hip hop
Oh,
artist
nigga,
is a
come on,
Stephen Fletch. You know?
man.
I'm not, no. Let me speak
Ain't
to you.
nobody
Let me
stopping
speak
you.
to
No
you.
one's stopping you, brother. No one's
Yeah,
stopping
somebody
you.
said, "No, come on, come on," and not speaking. No, this is what I'm saying. The industry, as it presents itself today, and many of the artists in the industry, the overwhelming majority, are minstrel act. They do the same minstrel blackface bullshit. I'm not saying that everybody did it, because back in the day, it's not every artist was a minstrel artist, but they had to perform on minstrel shows for popularity. Because even conscious good artists now don't gain popularity unless they put on blackface. Black men
Hey,
putting
I
on
agree.
blackface.
Oh
I
my
agree.
god.
I
If,
agree.
Wait,
if,
what'd you say?
if,
I
Say
mean,
that
to a
again.
certain
Wait, say
extent.
that one more time. Hold
Yeah.
on. You
I
said
agree.
that. Wait, you said what?
black men putting on blackface. Blackface has nothing to do with black people. It is a caricature of black people. So saying a black man on a blackface is not saying a black man acting black. It's saying that a black man acting stereotypical. That's what blackface means. Is that you're acting stereotypical, you're not acting black. So these people now put on black faces and put on a stereotypical image of what they portray the black man to be. That's what's happening in the hip hop. No, I'm not saying every artist does it, but nobody can stand on the sideline and observe what is going on and not seeing that this shit is now a minstrel show with black men putting on blackface.
Okay, so name an artist. I just want to see what kind of artist you're talking about. What
I
artist?
was
What
about to ask
artist
the same
is?
thing. Can y'all
What
name
artist is
10
putting on a
artists?
philosophical
10 artists.
blackface?
This
All of
category,
the
y'all.
littles. All of the littles. If they put
No, they
little in
not.
front of their name, all of the littles.
Lil Wayne
He
is
said
a
all
is
of
a
All
the
of the
names.
littles. I said
blackfacer.
all of the
Now
littles.
that's funny. That's funny as fuck. That nigga funny for
Hold
that.
on. You
So
saying
he's saying
Lil
the
Wayne?
YN.
Wait,
All of
wait,
the
wait,
littles.
wait. You saying that Lil Wayne is a
All of the
minstrel
littles.
artist?
Of course he is.
Oh hell no!
He's not even
Y'all lost your
relevant.
Damn.
mind.
What
Y'all
are
niggas
you
Of
have
talking
course
about?
lost
he
your
is.
mind, bro. Y'all niggas
I
have
was gonna say,
lost your
is
mind. Lord Jesus.
anybody in
Yeah,
here
this is
familiar with the
crazy.
rap group Little Brother? Anybody heard of that rap group, Little
Yeah,
Brother?
yeah.
Hey,
Call
hey,
him a
Yeah, they
Fetty,
got
minstrel
a
Fetty,
show.
I remember a
Fetty.
mixtape I listened to in middle school,
Fetty.
high
I was
school.
gonna
They
use
got a
that
mixtape
album.
called The Minstrel Show, and they make
Thank you, Fetty. Thank you, Fetty.
Fontaine be
Exactly.
cool.
I just said that.
Those are my homies. Those are
I
my
just
homies. I
said I
know them
was gonna use
personally.
that as the
Yeah,
perfect
yeah.
example to show the difference. Perfect example. Thank you, Fetty.
Okay.
But like I say, I ain't entertaining it. But you're
I
100
don't
percent
think
right.
Lil Wayne. I don't know how y'all can call Lil Wayne a minstrel. So if they telling you the shit that actually happened to them and the shit they actually going through, how are they putting on a face for anything?
It's a minstrel show. It's a minstrel show. For motherfuckers who ain't never seen a minstrel show.
Shit Lil Wayne talking about, he actually did. The nigga been rapping since he was 14. That ain't no motherfucking front. All that diamonds on it, that was real shit.
That's real.
Like, all
Sammy,
that shit you talk about,
Sammy
listen.
Davis. All right. When you finish, I'll start speak.
Okay,
Logic, stand
so
down. This ain't a conversation, Logic.
so
Sammy Davis. Sammy Davis was singing since he was 6, and he was part of the minstrel circuit. So you saying that Little Wayne, because he was rapping since he was 13, 14, 12, or 11, is no different now. Put the
I'm not
mirror
saying that just
on
because
and
of
look
his
at it.
age.
I just
I'm
said
not
he
saying that
had
just
Okay.
because of his age. What I'm saying is he's
He's
not
a
putting
minstrel
on a
artist.
hold on, brother. Hold on. What I'm saying is most rappers, I would say most, I'm gonna go ahead and defend most. I listen to rap every day.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm listening to him, no matter how ignorant it is, or no matter how much I disagree, I can't not say that in most cases it's their life. Now, if you're talking about a minstrel show, you saying like a 6ix9ine or something like that, or like a Mabu or something like that, a motherfucker that clearly ain't going through none of the shit that they rapping about, but they just capitalizing off of other people's shit, other people's stories, other people's lives. I get that part. But when you say
All right.
all the littles, now you talking about
All the littles.
okay, so if you say
Everybody.
Lil Wayne, Lil Wayne, the shit that he's rapping about is the shit that he's actually been through. It's not a blackface. He's actually been through that shit. Like
Okay.
it's like he's actually. I've been following Lil Wayne since motherfucking. I got 10 on my wrist, 20 on my neck. Like I've been like that since Hot Boys. The nigga was 14 years old around grown men, probably the best rapper of the group then.
I have 63 cars that I drive up and down, and I wear a new suit every day.
What if he does?
Stepping and fletching. No. If you want to say, you mentioned 6ix9ine. How a minstrel like 6ix9ine fit comfortable in that environment?
He don't feel comfortable. Hold on, no, wait.
He did.
Comfortable in that environment.
He don't fit comfortable. That's how that shit.
Of course,
that's why that. Let me finish, bro. That's why that shit ended the way it did. He didn't feel comfortable inside of that shit. The nigga was fronting. He was fucking around with some shit he had no idea of, and then ended up getting his ass kidnapped, shot at, and federally indicted. He wasn't talking about the shit that he was. He wasn't comfortable ever in hip hop.
Okay,
he was never comfortable in hip hop.
Can I rebut that now?
I don't want to. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just making a statement.
I'm not arguing.
Please stand down, Steve. Please stand down.
Then it's nothing to argue. There's nothing to rebut. I'm just making a factual statement. Unless you're telling me I'm wrong about what actually happened, then correct me. But you don't got to rebut what I'm saying.
No, I'm not correcting you because you're right. You're right in some instances. You're right until the fact that you deny that the dudes who were with 6ix9ine and the dudes who were with Vanilla Ice were stupid. They killed the goose. Vanilla Ice was with. Yeah.
I know who that is. I just don't know much about him.
Yeah. All they did was kill the goose who laid the golden egg. That's what they did. They killed the goose who laid the golden egg. And until those dudes killed the goose who laid the golden egg, 6ix9ine was comfortable in the rap community.
I'm not trying to be funny. He wasn't comfortable, my nigga.
Much about everything.
He wasn't. Listen, I'm telling you, and he wasn't. And I don't know what happened to Vanilla Ice, but unless you're talking about gang members, this nigga was around the fucking biggest blood set in New York, and that was a hustle for them. He wasn't no golden goose. Them niggas already had the Diplomats, Jim Jones, Joel Santana. He was a lick that went crazy. Pause. And then he got out of control, thought he was actually a gang member, and them niggas corrected that shit. That's all that is. I don't know what happened to Vanilla Ice. I can't say. I just know what happened to this guy. He was gang members took Trey took that nigga. They found out, they put this out. Hey, take this image. Hey, we gonna back you. But that nigga was getting shows canceled. He was getting shot at, death threats. Niggas was shooting up his house and shit. He wasn't comfortable. That wasn't no music shit. That was some gang shit. So you could say Minstrel, but that wasn't even hip hop. That was a gang capital move that went bad.
Racketeering. It was money laundering.
My original question remains, and it goes to logic. If you're saying hip hop is a minstrel show, right? You're making this statement. I'm not saying you mean absolutely, but I must mean you mean the majority of it. Then in the minstrel show, what part of it are you saying? All hip hop? Are you saying the majority of hip hop? Does that, because that would leave room for you saying, I'm assuming you saying not DQ. The only reason I brought up DQ is because when I listen to DQ, I don't hear nothing minstrel. I hear about the nigga life, what the nigga going through, and the fucking dreams and philosophies. I don't hear minstrel shit. And he ain't dressed up to be nobody.
Right.
So the specifics of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the whole self-image conversation, right? I said that the same things that you would see or that you wouldn't find flattering about minstrel shows. I feel like at times, and in my opinion, at times that you could see those same stereotypes and tropes being played out in rap music. So so from there, I'm not calling it a minstrel show, but I'm more so saying that I feel like I see some of those same things that we don't like about minstrel shows being played out in rap from some rappers.
Like what?
I think that's a better way to say it.
Like what?
Yeah, blanket it. in
So
one term, though.
So for instance, we still, we sit here and debate
Is
about how
somebody
the
modeling in the
numbers.
basement or some shit?
We sit here and talk about how the numbers
I
make us
think you
look
should
like
put
we're
a
more
period right
violent.
there, though, Logic.
I think you should let him
What?
finish.
No, a Logic. If you put a period right there, then you can go gather the rest of the because now they're going to try to nitpick that. Like,
When
but
did
you
you
made
become Logic's agent?
Exactly. Hey,
Like,
go ahead. And
when did you start doing? When did you become his literary coach or some shit? Well, I don't. I'm trying to hear his point. You telling him to stop talking.
you're using a better term than me. Because I'm glad you said advisor and manager, because you're using a lot better term than me.
He's telling them how to have the conversation. Listen,
He telling
Logic
them how
just
to
said
talk.
now. Hold
That's
on.
the thing.
Logic just said now that it ain't a minstrel show. That's what he just said. When I said it in the chat, that's what started the whole shit. When I said it in the chat, it's not a minstrel show. You said I gave. You could have said that. You could have said this then.
I
But then you
did.
went
It's in
on.
the comments. I said the same things that you would see in the minstrel shows that you wouldn't like. You could see in rap. That's what I said.
Okay,
So
but
so
what?
maybe I didn't. So I tried to put some more context in it. So like for instance, right, the numbers make us look like we're more violent and more criminally active than other groups, right? So
Uh-huh.
when we getting on record and kind of, I guess at times, emphasizing that part of our community, we kind of perpetuate it as we kind of make it. The fact that we glorify it on record in public, I think it leans credence to it.
Blackface.
I got a question. Logic. Is no. All right, yeah. I got you. I was about to ask if there might be
So that's
yeah.
not all rappers, right? That's not all rappers. That's a very
No,
specific.
we're not speaking in
Hey,
absolute. There's a
no, yeah,
speak.
yeah. So like, hey, we have conversations about we want to protect our image, and we had a conversation way back then. Black people recognize, hey, this isn't good for our image, right? So some of those, I ain't gonna say it's the exact same thing. Minstrel show is one to one to hip hop. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying some of those things seem to have, they kind of seem to do something very similar as far as creating a conduit for us to normalize some of that stuff.
I
I
can definitely
said,
see that, and I understand that part. I thought you was the context I was taking. It was, how somebody can take the Ku Klux Klan and say they Christians, so all Christians bad.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
was thinking you were using that type of approach. I'm like, but you just explained
Nah.
it. I got you. I will reduce my venom. My bad, bro.
okay, I'm gonna go ahead and increase my venom. So when you said it's the same thing, maybe worse, what was you talking about?
I
I
was
said
talking
no, it's
about
not a minstrel show. You said it's the same thing, maybe worse.
right. So I was talking about the perpetuating of those stereotypes. So
What?
that's
Give me an
what I'm
example
talking
of
about.
what you're talking about.
I
So I
just
can feel like
did how the numbers
like
can
an
make us
exact
seem as though
example.
we're more violent, more criminal, and in certain lyrics we emphasize that in our community as if you're not cool unless you're doing that kind of shit. Like sometimes the music does kind of speak. It definitely
Uh,
does.
I don't know what you. I'm not getting your point.
I don't know.
hey, lot.
Oh,
I don't get your point.
okay. Maybe I'll use my life example. Right. New Orleans literally grew up off of Cash Money Records.
Okay.
Like literally, the normal behavior was emulating these people
That makes
to a very
sense.
large degree, and even some of the activities that they did in the records, selling drugs, shooting motherfuckers in the face, like that is what was cool, and what made it cool was them, right? They set that standard as far as this is acceptable behavior. You know what I'm saying? When you have an altercation in the street, the next logical step is for somebody to die. We didn't collectively create that. We got that from Cash
They
Money
didn't
Records.
need. They
You
didn't
kind of get
need
what
it.
I'm saying?
y'all ain't never had
Well,
this
and
conversation
maybe not.
before, though.
No. Wait. Hold on, Shaq. They didn't either. They didn't. They didn't.
Okay,
They
maybe
didn't go
not.
out there. Oh, wait. So you think when they was making music, they was like, "We gonna make killing cool, and we gonna make drugs cool"? No, they was talking about the shit that was happening where they was at. and the shit they was doing. So how you putting you trying to put the whole fucking New Orleans crime and drug scene on hip hop? That's not even realistic.
Maybe there's a fine line between what I'm saying and what you're saying. I think that we real close and maybe not saying the same thing. Am I saying the whole city? Am I saying the whole city's behavior is responsible?
You just said the entire city's behavior was emulating Cash Money.
The image of New Orleans,
right? So am I.
The black image of New Orleans was perpetuated to the rest of the world through what group and what medium? Like what did we think New Orleans was? Who emulated that? Who gave us the thought that New Orleans black people was a certain type of way? Who pushed that forward?
So let me ask you a question. Okay, that's a good question, Chef.
Universal?
That's a good question, Chef. But that would be universal. Wait. That would be the label, not Cash Money. And then part two, New Orleans is one of the most. New Orleans is one of the most diverse music. New Orleans got second line. So why everybody don't think they just banned what's the name? Second line music is bigger than anything Cash Money ever did in New Orleans. Now Logic knows that. Second line dancing, the cymbals, the actual shit. That shit is way big. That's more important to them.
Have you heard how New Orleans rappers talk about second line in their rap?
I don't know.
I have heard some. I
don't give a damn.
Okay, so I would say a very large proportion of the time it's mentioned as that's where I'm gonna catch you slipping at.
Oh no!
Oh my god, nigga! If you don't get the fuck,
that was a reach, Logic.
They be suing people for bro.
I didn't even hear what he said.
So y'all never had this conversation before. I'm asking.
No, we ain't never had the conversation. No,
I'm saying like in y'all living black community. I'm saying
we had this convo before, Chef. We was talking about this before.
Exactly. And I'm saying for us to go crazy on Logic's question, right, about hip hop, like this is not a conversation that been in the black community about hip hop.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Like Logic then said something.
We just wanted to be deciphered correctly.
Hold on, wait.
I'm with you, Chef. I'm with you on that.
I have never. Okay, I've been in the black community. You've been in the black community. I've never had a conversation about hip hop being a minstrel show. So y'all can say that y'all had the conversation. Y'all can say, hold on. Y'all can say that y'all have had this conversation. Y'all can say that this is normal conversation for black community. I've never heard hip hop compared to the fucking minstrel show. And just because you say that black people been having a conversation, that don't mean I've never even heard the connection. I've never heard that before. That don't make no sense. I'm not saying it's a stupid conversation, but I would understand. I would understand if
I'm saying it is.
No, I don't think it's a valid conversation. My question with Logic is this.
I don't agree with
Hold on. My question is the entire time, Chef. My question was, well, if you saying hip hop, we got DQ in here. Do you realize what you actually saying? And then he
clearly wasn't talking about DQ.
Of course he wasn't.
I can read it and know that.
Of course, no.
And you ain't talking about hip hop.
When you make the statement,
y'all gotta stop.
When you make the statement hip hop, he didn't say gangster rap. He didn't say New Orleans rap. He didn't say nothing.
That's the only reason why. That's the only reason why I handled it the way I did.
Like, you wondering why I'm bringing up DQ? Damn. DQ thought he was talking about DQ.
Maybe I have conversation, and I know when the I know he wasn't talking about DQ. Like I don't even know how to explain that shit.
You're different, Chef.
I don't even know how to explain that. Like that was so obvious, yo.
No, it's not.
Chef. It's not, bro.
It wasn't.
Oh my god.
It wasn't.
Oh my.
It's just you. It's just you. You have this conversational ability that none of us have to just see spirits and all this other shit.
I think I do.
He
Yeah,
deals with the head
maybe you
every
do.
day.
I call
He
bullshit,
deals
but
with
I
brains
think you
every
do.
day.
But I'm gonna say
He deals
this.
with
I
brains every
do.
day.
I think I do. It's just that same Baltimore bullshit.
No, I
You
think
got
I
to
do,
pull some
yo.
more
Like I
Baltimore
know
bullshit.
that man wasn't taking a shot at DQ.
No, I didn't say he was taking a
I
shot.
wouldn't
I
even
never
put
said he was taking
DQ
a shot.
music. From me listening to DQ music, I wouldn't even put him in that category of a. So that's like, come on, y'all. Like,
No.
y'all doing too much.
No, when you say hip hop, just all he had to do was say, and I'm not gonna tell the nigga what to say, but even he realized it after, because that's why he was like, all right, let me clarify. Because
That's
when
because y'all
people do
zapped
that
out.
in hip hop conversations all the time, what people do is they'll take what some niggas in Chicago doing and what some niggas in Atlanta doing, and they'll forget that niggas like Little Brother exists. They'll forget that it's a motherfucking hip hop nigga playing the flute now. They forget that it's all of them. So all I was doing was, you do understand that when you say hip hop,
Yo said the nigga.
and I said no, wait, and I said no, right? I said no, and then the nigga says sometimes maybe worse. That's when I was like, you talking about DQ too, right? And then that's when he was like, oh, okay, yeah, nah, I get it. So now he's about to explain what he actually means. Because motherfuckers, when we do have conversations about hip hop get generalized so much to where y'all think all these niggas is the same. And they not all the same. Even all the drill rappers within drill rap ain't the same.
So
They
when we
all
say
rapping drill.
when
They
we say
rapping
the
drill.
black community got a crime problem, you think I'm talking about you?
No.
What?
No.
So you would
And I don't know. I'm not.
understand.
And this sounds like some Baltimore shit you about to do.
No,
But go
you
ahead.
would
I just want you
understand.
to know I know what you're doing. But go
No,
ahead.
you if I was to say, yo, black people have a crime issue, you wouldn't personalize it,
No,
knowing
but
it's
I make
coming
you
from me.
clarify yourself.
I'm
No,
not
but I make you
talking about
clarify it.
you.
No,
You
but
would
I
know,
make
I'm
you
not.
clarify it though. I
No,
would make you clarify
I
it.
need clarification.
No, it does need clarification because black people don't have a fucking no, that's the same conversation we had before. A lot of times y'all put what the 4% in our community do and the 94, whether it affects us or not. When
It
you say
affects us.
if the minor 4%, even I correct white people with this, Chef. You can't say you can't say black people in as a race are a crime problem when it's like 4 or 5% of motherfuckers
As a
doing the majority
demographic,
of the crime.
do we have a drug problem?
Everybody, drugs is a human problem. It's not just
I'm
black.
talking about the black community. Does the black community have a drug
All
problem?
communities have a drug
Do they
problem.
have? I'm talking about the black community.
I'm talking about all communities.
And that's the problem.
No, because I'm not gonna. Oh no, because
I'm
what you
talking
do
about
is
the black community. You
no.
already admitted it by saying all communities. You already
All
admitted it.
community, yeah,
Right.
yes. But the drug, but see, you know why I say all communities though? Is because you look at crackheads, right? You don't look at them no different than motherfuckers, white motherfuckers strung off prescription pills, or them white fucking middle-aged women that go home and drink 3 bottles of fucking champagne and take a fucking Valium and don't think they got a goddamn drug problem. Everybody has a drug problem. It's not unique to us. It's just ours is the one that's splashed across the fucking screen every 2 seconds. So it's not, so when I say black, I don't like saying the words black people have a drug problem or the black community has a drug problem. Drugs is a human issue. It's not a racial issue.
So when we speak of it and we're talking about ourselves, we can't personalize and talk about our community. We got to stretch it out amongst all people.
Well,
Like,
how do you not
that
stretch
don't
out?
even make
How do
sense.
you? Yes, it does. Because how do you not stretch out how do you not stretch out a human problem, right? How do you even understand how do you even understand the scope and scale of what we would call a black problem if you don't understand the humanity of the problem? If
Bro, we
ours
hear
is the
you.
one,
Hold on.
if ours is the one splashed on screen, Chef. If ours is the one that is splashed on screen, publicized. You got the corner, you got the wire. Oh, you should understand this more than anything. They made Baltimore seem like y'all ain't got shit going on, but goddamn crackheads and shit on the corner and the wire. And that's not true, bro.
So when all the shows is about black people on drugs, the news is about black people on drugs, politicians are talking about black people on drugs, and they're not looking at themselves to understand the black problem, I think you would have to say you'd have to talk about it as a human problem. That all humans have the issue. Ours is the one that's just on screen. I don't understand why you don't get that. You from Baltimore. How many goddamn corner and wire jokes have you heard in your goddamn lifetime while you walking around like, bro, this shit ain't the corner and the wire? But it's because of motherfucking Stringer Bell and Barksdale that they think that y'all niggas is just motherfucking crackheads.
Right. So if somebody said something about North, and when the movie New Jersey Drive came out, you would think everybody in North.
And everybody wasn't.
Exactly. So I know that. Like, I know that I'm having that.
Everybody don't know that.
Bro. See?
No, they don't.
There's more white people on fentanyl than black folks.
Like you don't like you. It's funny why you don't want. So you. Let me ask a question. You don't want to give no fucking clarity to the black issue, bro?
No, I'm giving clarity when I say, yo, black people have an issue. You turn around and say all people have an issue.
Because drugs are a human
when we're talking about ourselves.
All right, we don't agree. We just don't agree. I think this probably one of the things.
Agree with that though. I've been trying to say that as well. It's like when you try to, as a black person, and you try to pinpoint certain problems that may be echoed in other communities, it kind of gets either undermined when you bring in, say, you know, it's an American problem, which is true. Like it is an American problem, or other people go through it. But y'all do admit at the same time, even though all groups can go through the same thing, the way in which that whatever thing is happening being portrayed and acted on is different. So Chef ain't wrong for trying to specifically pinpoint what's going on in our communities, even though it is something that can be found in others. I don't think he's wrong for doing that.
No, and I don't think we're having a conversation of wrong and right. I'm saying to understand the black problem with drugs, I think it would be helpful to at least identify. Say, for example, Fetty, if we found out tomorrow, right? Let's say they splashed this shit across TV. We found out tomorrow that motherfucking white women, and I wasn't making that up. That's an actual thing. White women going home, drinking bottles of wine, taking volume, passing out on the fucking couch, fucking waking up doing this shit. I mean, we're talking about every goddamn day. If that shit was flashed across the goddamn screen, right? You ever heard the statement, if you complain about your problems, Fetty, but if a motherfucker, you probably shouldn't complain about your problems, because if somebody else laid their problems at your feet, you'll take your problems and run and be like, well, goddamn, maybe it's not as bad for us as I think. All I'm saying when I say the human part is that if you actually include everybody else's drug problem, you would see that we're probably not the worst motherfucking offenders of the shit. You probably would. You probably would see that. You would need. Hold on. But you would need the scale. Just the scale. We don't even know what the other people's drug. But we have no idea because it ain't presented to us. All you see is us and movies about us and us selling drugs.
So what Logic and Chef is saying? You don't think culturally? Because I see what you're saying, but you don't think culturally these things can be explained a little differently? Like you said, I'm not denying that white people is on fentanyl and shit like that, but I'm saying culturally, you don't think a lot of these things, drugs, guns, fashion, and all of that, overlap with one another in certain communities more than others? You don't think that?
Yeah, I think that's a different. I think that's a different conversation.
That's the conversation. But yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I can't argue that.
Let me finish real quick.
What? Are y'all kidding me? Y'all having a real conversation? I think y'all faking.
I don't know what we're talking about right now.
Hold on, let me finish real quick. I was talking we had this conversation a couple months ago dealing with specific subgenres of hip hop. You can't say none of absolutes. I was talking about drill music and how I see that young people, even if they in a middle class situation, how enticing it is for them to even be a part of this, quote unquote culture, even though they don't live that life or nothing. right? But when I was bringing that up, the pushback I was getting is that it's an American problem. Drugs, guns, and all of that is an American problem, and the overall topic and conversation kind of went away from the initial point. And I think Steph is just trying to, and I'm not trying to speak on, but sounds like they just trying to acknowledge the shit in New Orleans. That's true, bro. Like like rappers and regionally and shit like that, they are the perpetuators, or they're telling you when you come here, this is what it's like. And even though the labels and all that play a part, I mean, culturally, it's more entrenched in our group per se more than others. That's my opinion. But it is, I mean, it's nuanced. But I'm not mad at what Shep and Logic is saying, even though I disagree with the minstrel show part. But yeah, it's a lot of shit in rap that fuck us up as a culture, bro. That's just a fact.
Okay. Okay.
If
Go
you
ahead,
don't know
Corey. I
how,
don't know if you was. I don't know.
if you don't know how like where you are in the scale of like how fucked up you are, you'll never know if you're being fucked over or not. So what's going on right now is everything that's being told to us that we're the most drugged out people out there, when in fact it really isn't. There's the white folks out there, they're fucking, I mean, they're like, just like how it was explained before, it's not just that visual, like smoking weed, you know what I'm saying? Whatever else little mouth shit you'd be doing. You know, these people on the other side are totally whacked out. But, you know, they make it look like all over the world that we're the ones, you know, it's concentrated, you know, and wherever you see us, we're doing that a little bit, you know what I mean? But overall, those folks are going crazy with it.
Is my mic still on mute? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, okay. What you was saying?
Like,
Hold on. Let Corey about to say something. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Corey. Go ahead. You there, Corey?
Go ahead, Logic.
So when I'm speaking about them as being, yeah, go ahead, Corey. I'm gonna let you know.
My bad.
Yeah,
What I was saying is it seems like we ain't having a real conversation, right? If we're talking about how guns and drugs are in the black community, it's like, bro, nobody does drugs more than the American. Like, it's an American thing. Like, in guns, are y'all kidding me?
No, it's not story.
Do you know in America it's more guns than people? For each person in America, it's 4 guns. Did y'all know that?
No.
So, like, saying that the black people like guns, that's wow. You're taking the minority group of a country full of 400 and something million people, right? 400 and something million people. You take the smallest group out of that 400 and something million people and say, yeah, they the ones who like guns and drugs. You niggas is wild as fuck to me. Because first of all, we don't even do the real drugs that get done in America. The real drugs that get done in America, we don't even do them. You niggas drink 40 ounces and smoke blunts. That's it. You niggas ain't doing drugs for real.
I mean, lean. You gotta admit that lean is a staple in hip hop. You know,
hold
like
on, I'm
lean
not
is like
done
a
yet.
starter kit
I'm
for a lot
not
of
done. You can kill me when I'm done, Ben. As a matter of fact, crack and heroin and shit like that ain't even in style no more in the black community. That shit is played out in the black community nowadays. You wild as fuck in the black community doing crack, cocaine, and heroin. You're a wild ass nigga to most of the people in the black community. So why y'all sitting up here having some wild ass conversation about black people, the smallest group in America, doing all the drugs? Y'all wild as fuck, bro. Y'all really wild to me. But I'm gonna go back on mute.
When you say y'all, but I just want to be clear. When you say y'all, don't be. It might make sense to be specific. That's Chef. Yes, Sim. Nobody else is saying that.
Wait, hold on.
Nobody
We kind of veering off topic a little. We're starting to veer off
black
topic.
drug dealers? Who are the black drug dealers in the black community selling their drugs to then?
You know when that person says
the white folks that come in with the money, because that's what I was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The culture part,
I was
it's about
selling
to happen
mines
again.
to
It's about to happen
Hold
again.
on, Shepard asked the question. I was selling mines to the white folks who had money that come into my community. They from the outside of my community. They come into my community looking for drugs.
That's that friend, they
Y'all
crazy.
niggas watch too much TV, bro.
Weird ass drugs. Weird ass yo, where
Y'all
you get
niggas
No,
need to stop watching.
we getting off
like,
topic.
If
yo,
y'all
We
stop
getting off
watching the
topic.
news so much, you'll stop thinking that
Yeah, I'm
black people
confused. I'm
is
confused on
fucking.
what we even talking
Yeah,
about
no,
right now.
it's
I'm
just
confused.
we
We
get
getting off
so
now
topic.
black people
confused.
don't use drugs
No,
because
because
the
Carl, when
white
they
people come in our
Let's get to
community
the issue, bro.
and
Like
buy
when you
all
talk,
our
Hey,
niggas don't
we
understand
buy
can
that
I
black
say
drugs
people
something?
got
I'm
no
more
trying to get us
we're
back
power
on
dr-
topic.
over
white
than others,
boys.
bro.
what
conversation got thrown off topic. It didn't go off topic. It got thrown
we
off
got
topic.
we got our guns and we go out and kill white people with our guns, or we kill who get killed in our community with our guns? Black people.
Yeah, you trying to have another
We
Yeah,
conversation.
you
moving
No,
the
trying to talk
no,
about
they
that. No,
goalposts
brought
you
everywhere.
trying to do the other
they
I
thing.
brought
like
this
the
shit.
goalposts get moved
No,
everywhere.
no, you moved. No, hold on.
That's crazy. Bro.
Corey, you came in and said that black people ain't using drugs and that we ain't the ones killing black people with the guns in the black community. And I'm saying that the black
No,
drug
that ain't what I
issue
Yeah, that's
said.
I
cap.
don't
That
That's
even
ain't what
and
cap.
I
think he
said.
meant. He
and
said
the
nothing
black
like that.
That
and
ain't
the black gun
He didn't say
violence.
nothing
Hold
like
on,
that.
hold on.
so we ain't having
Black.
an honest conversation because that
Yeah,
ain't what
he
I
didn't
said
say
though.
that, bro. You making like a
So
white. You
what?
know,
So
y'all
then
niggas.
why did he say it then?
What?
Yeah, I
That
didn't
is not
understand.
what
I
I
didn't
So
said.
understand
he
what
That is
could
Corey's
just
not what
point
I
say
was.
said.
I didn't
anything,
understand what Corey's point was because we was
right? So
talking
he
about
could
like
just
black
say
culture.
anything.
Yeah,
No,
and he
he didn't.
said,
He didn't say what you just said. Is what I
This
said,
No,
nigga Chef funny, boy.
bro. You
no.
was
Listen to what
devious.
I said. So hold on. Don't make me out to be the crazy motherfucker.
You are
Please
no.
don't
You
do
already a crazy motherfucker. I don't gotta make you out to do shit. Go ahead.
Hold on.
Reggie, the link is in the chat. I mean, in the
Hold on.
Discord.
So, oh yeah, this shit
Nigga
really
out to be
about
the
to go
crazy
wild,
motherfucker.
right?
Is
We
Let
about
me
to be
make
in
sure
the
I
"Yeah,
get my
clouds.
wild,
point out.
nigga. No,
Reggie
nigga.
come up here and talk for 30 minutes. I
We
forget.
about to be in the clouds with this conversation because y'all niggas will refuse to acknowledge what black people do. Now this shit is
Yeah, I
so
agree.
black.
I agree.
So black
What Corey just
people,
said was
right,
crazy.
I
don't
refuse to
have a
acknowledge it to
drug
niggas
issue.
that highlight it.
Them
And
to
our
us.
community, hold on. Black people, for the most part, live amongst who? Ourselves. For the most part.
By
Right?
choice.
Huh?
By choice.
Like, you want to live
No,
around some
I'm just
other
asking you. No, no.
I'm
I'm just
asking you.
saying.
I'm asking you.
I'm
Do
saying.
you want to
You
live around?
said black
I'm
people
sure
by the
you got
most
enough
part.
money. I'm sure you got enough money where you can live in different areas where you. So, do you choose to live
No,
around
I no,
people
no.
other
I
than
don't make
black
it.
people?
I'm not making a black community conversation personal to me. You said black people in mass or in
Live
majority,
amongst each
they
other
live amongst themselves. My question to you was,
by
do
choice.
you think that that's by choice, or
Yes.
are they funneled? Or you think they're funneled into communities similar to like segregationist real estate policies? You think that they live by
Oh,
choice together?
all right. Black people don't want to live around each other no more.
No, I'm just
I don't
asking you
know
a
what y'all
question. You
saying.
don't. No, because I think you don't know. I
I
think you
think
really
black
think
people
no. I think you
bullshit.
really. I think no.
I
I think
think
you don't know. I think you're
no.
saying
I think
something
black
and
people
you
move
really
in
don't know.
communities that they want to move in.
No, they don't get to move in all the communities that they want to move in.
No, I'm saying if you have the money, I think you move
Even
in the
if you
community.
got the money,
Oh my
since
god.
since we saying money, even if you got the money, no. Even if you got the money, no. Money does not remove you 100% from being able to live where the fuck you exactly want to live. Now, if you're a multi-billionaire, you want to go live in Hollywood, that's like the minimum. I'm talking about the majority. When you say got the money, I'm talking about a motherfucker that make a woman who make 100,000 and a man who make 100,000. Just base numbers, 200,000. You should damn near be able to live anywhere you want to in this country. And I'm saying when they go get a mortgage, they still gonna be shown damn near the same neighborhoods. They still gonna get the same fucking high ass mortgage. The higher fucking interest rate is still gonna happen, and they're gonna be funneled for the most part to move to where they have to live versus where they want to live. That's the reality of being here. Now y'all can tell me some fictitious bullshit about some shit y'all don't know. Because if you want to have a real estate conversation, we could definitely have that conversation. And I promise you, don't nobody in this motherfucker right now that I'm looking at know more about real estate in here than I do. So go
Oh
ahead and
my
tell
god.
me that we get to move where you want to move. Go ahead. Tell me that they don't push you based on applications and research where they want you to live. Go ahead and tell me that.
So did anybody in here get pushed to live where they lived at?
You don't
We
know
could
you're
just
being
You
pushed.
don't know? Oh, forget it. Go ahead,
no.
bro.
I don't.
No. Y'all talk about hip
Hold on,
hop,
Grant.
bro. No,
Hold
y'all
on.
talk about hip hop. I'm going on mute.
No. Don't go on mute. Don't go on mute. Listen, when you go to a real, you already looking at potential neighborhoods where you give them a list of areas that you want to live in. Do you not do that?
I think I
Hello?
don't know. You as a salesperson, I can tell you that what he's describing isn't very difficult to limit a person's options. That's not hard.
No,
That's not even a high level
hold on.
salesperson.
So hold on. So when you say, yo, I want to buy a house in this area, they'll tell you, nah, you got the credit score and the funds to live in this area, but you'll be better suited in this. Are you telling me that's what's happening? I'm asking.
I'm saying that it wouldn't sound specifically like that, but let's say it sounds more like, well, the bank will approve you over there, but it's 13% higher, right? So you're logical, logically you wouldn't take 13%
Have
higher.
you ever
So
went to the
just
car
give me an
dealership?
example.
Have you ever went to the car dealership and left with a car that you didn't want?
Let me give you an easy example.
I sold cars for 10 years,
Mhm.
and I can tell you I did it to people all the time. All the time.
Exactly.
Like not some of the time,
I'm
all
asking,
the time.
did you ever go to the car dealership and leave with a car that you didn't want?
Did you hear what I said though?
I asked you.
I'm saying, as the person on the other end of the transaction, I made that happen all the time. All the time, people come in and ask for a maximum leave with a central. All the time.
Right. So I got you. But I'm asking you, did you ever go to the car dealership and leave with a car that you didn't want?
Yeah. The first two times I bought a car, I didn't
Oh,
qualify
you
for
got
exactly what I wanted. Yeah.
Let me give you an example. And
mute
I,
out, Logic, mute out. You got power tools in the background.
me.
No, Logic.
So let's say I'm a
You
realtor,
build in
right?
America.
And
Build
I
in
have
America.
properties in my knowledge, right? I have 10 properties in my knowledge, right? And I have 20.
In your knowledge, do you have them or do you don't? What the fuck does that mean?
Come on, just listen. Nuance. It's nuance. Yes, I do have them.
Okay.
They're not going to go on sale yet. But they may be like, man, I don't want to tie up this house with this person when I know I could tie it up with this person. High. That shit goes on. You know what I mean? They play those games. So that's how they could move
Yeah,
people.
maybe it's hard.
People here because blah blah blah. I know that neighbor trusts me. They're not going to be. Even if you know what I'm saying, and it might be a property that they know it's going to go on sale or it is on sale. You know, they just you know what I'm saying. They got the little ways to doing that shit. It still exists.
Listen, we would
All right, I'll take your
have
word for it.
bonuses. Yeah, we would have bonuses, Chef, for who could sell the most small cars this week, which is obviously to stimulate the salespeople to force people into those cars. So it's not like it's impossible. Like there's like a whole culture around not selling the person what they want. No, sell them what we want to sell them. That's how you make money. That's actually sales.
The
You know what I'm saying?
comparison.
It might be hard.
No,
It might be hard to
I
explain. It might
always
be hard to explain that. But listen,
no, I get it, but that's why
I'm
I asked
telling
the
you, people
question.
not getting what they want is far more common.
Right.
Way more common.
But that's why I asked the question, because every time I see somebody in a little stupid ass car, I be like, I know they didn't go to the dealership to get that motherfucker. I know it was another car that they went there for. How did a motherfucker convince you to pay your money for something that you didn't want? Now you look stupid as fuck. And they tell you in 6 months, you can come back and refi and get the car that you really want. Like, bro,
You didn't have to drive off the lot with that motherfucker. You could have fought for the car that you want. It's your money.
In
That's just
2000,
the way that I look at it. I ain't never been forced. That's crazy.
in 2022, HUD did a test. I'll give you some sales terms to easily funnel motherfuckers. I'm not proud I've done it. But in 2022, HUD did a test. They had black testers hand realtors lists of addresses, right, that they wanted to live in. But these were white neighborhoods, kind of seclusive white neighborhoods. But they met all the qualifiers, the credit, the this, the that, whatever. So when they gave the list to the realtors, because HUD was trying to figure out, they was doing a redlining investigation. And HUD was trying to figure out how do you create, how in an open market do we still see basically segregation? And what was happening was literally the realtor that was you'd hand the list to, 40% of those addresses were rejected off the rip. They were saying that these places ain't available, you can't live here. They had white people go behind them and do the same goddamn thing, and they were immediately scheduled for the show. So when it goes to real estate, right, there's a lot of different terms you could use. There's a lot of different games you could play. But when they confronted them realtors, they said, and I quote, "We thought that those clients wouldn't be interested based on school districts, social policy, or commute times." And all they have to do to justify any steering is called funneling, but in any steering, they're not going to say you can't live here, chef. But what they'll do is they'll say, well, the seller wants a certain kind of buyer. Or they can't legally say that, but when you sell a house, let's say, chef, you sell your house right now, or you got your house up for bid. You might have 20 motherfuckers get approved for a mortgage on your house. You choose who you sell the house to. I don't know. I know y'all think it's something different, but that's how it works. You choose. You as the motherfucker.
Whoever put the application, I gotta accept the application.
No, but if it's 20 people,
I gotta accept the offer.
No, you don't. Like, if a motherfucker, if my house is worth, well, if your house is worth, say, 600,000, and a motherfucker offer you 600,000, you could tell that motherfucker no.
Right, I have to accept the offer.
Right, but if a motherfucker come in, if another person comes in, and they come in with 600,000, you can say yes. You understand what I'm saying? So let's say your black ass try to move to a nicer part of Maryland because you make the money. You and your lady, y'all could do it. A white person could a realtor, when you give them the list, may not even show you them fucking homes. But let's say you did it on Zillow, or you did it on one of them other sites where you did it. Them websites that y'all be going to, I know y'all think that it's America and it's free and this, that, and the other. Them shits, if you go, just understand that there's even racism within Zillow. Based on the houses
They don't even show everything.
Yeah, they won't show you everything. Like that's why when you fill out and if you just do the random search, just try it one time. Do a random search on Zillow without giving them your information, and then do that same search. All them houses in the beginning is just John Q. Public. You after that, they might even know your IP address. So I don't know if they done figured that part out. But there's ways that you can get around it. So you can say things like, this one's already under contract. The seller ain't doing no more viewings. My favorite line is pending inspection. Like, we got all these terms. It's just like selling cars in a way. So to think that black people that, like you per se, specifically you fit the qualifiers and modifiers of someone that can move into, a stable member of community, has an income, has a lady, You fit all of it. But when you go for looking for houses in Maryland, you're not going to get all of the fits for where it is. And you're going to end up in either a diverse community or a black community. So when we say, why do we all live? That's why I asked you, do you think we have a choice? A lot of times you don't have a choice. And the sad thing about it, Chef, Because a lot of times you don't have a choice, and you don't even know how the fuck you ended up there. You don't even know. You don't even know. Like I ended up. How the fuck did I end up here?
I thought black people like living around each other.
No.
I thought white people like living amongst white people.
Well, no, you can like it
on your own.
No, you can like it. No, you can like. Hold on, you can like it, and that's cool. I like to live in a diverse community, not white, not otherwise, and I like to live wherever the best community to live in for any homeowner listening to this. The best community to live in, if you can afford it, is to live wherever your sheriff, your fucking fire chief, your anyone that works down in the city where they work. It's the safest neighborhood. It's the one that's gonna get the snow removed first. It's the one that they're gonna respond to the fire.
That's
it's
my
just
neighborhood.
reality. Yeah, it's just reality. Yeah, that's just reality. But the thing is, you can get in there. Well, it is if you got big money, you can make different decisions in small neighborhoods. So that's that.
That's exactly why I bought my house, because a state trooper lives 3 doors down.
Right. Yeah,
the last 4 mayors of Baltimore, previous 4 mayors of Baltimore, all live within the 3-block radius of me.
Yeah, well, then you live in a great neighborhood. But my point is, even if we don't all want to live in and amongst each other, once you get into house buying, you get into investment. You remove the demographics of race and wanting to live comfortably around black people. You should be more thinking about what is this area going to appreciate? Are the home values going to go up? If you focused on living in and around black people, get an apartment, because you're not even buying a house for the correct reasons. You're not even buying a house for you're thinking something different. If you want to go in around black people, there's many apartments. I ain't saying projects. I'm saying it's nice apartment complexes all over the United States full of black people where it's safe, it's communal. But if you're in the houses, we talking about investments. That's appreciation. You focused on moving into a neighborhood where your house were raised on the value, based on value. And that's another part of realty that nobody talks about. I'll do a show on it, but there's parts of realty where it's not as goo goo gaga, and it ain't all the government. Some of this is the companies are complicit. Some of this is individual realty companies that have racist practices that they've been in business for decades, that they just ain't changing. They know, oh no, I'm not, don't put them over there. And like Logic say, how many people can we get into this neighborhood? And then they'll just do a sale, and then motherfuckers will get pushed in there. But
So you saying redlining? So y'all saying redlining still exists?
Oh yeah, no question, bro. No question, bro. No question, bro. You're talking to a nigga that buys 20 plus a year. Yes. No question. No, there's no scholar if we need that for these conversations. The only people that'll tell you it don't exist is MAGA. That's it. They'll tell you can do whatever you want and be whoever you can. It don't matter, bro. You still will get redlined right into a motherfucking community. Now here's the thing, Chef. You might not get redlined into a bad community, but remember we was talking about the investments. I'm not gonna end up with the best possible, what's the name, unless you get somebody like me who actually pays attention to certain things like appreciation, certain things like community demographics, the schools, the hospitals, things like that. I'm not saying it's not always redlined into the projects, but you're not redlined into a good investment vehicle. And you know how I can tell you that's the case? Because our wealth, even based on black people with houses, is still the lowest on the board. Even the black people that own homes. I've had to change my argument when it comes to apartments and homes, Chef. I literally am starting to tell people, no, don't buy a house, bro. That's the first time I've said that in my lifetime. No, you probably don't want to buy a house. Go get about 50 to 100 into an investment vehicle, then start talking about something like a house. If not, just get an apartment.
Yeah.
That's just where I stand. But y'all go ahead.
So this is where we were at. We kind of got derailed and started. Now we're talking about sales. So where we was at was we was comparing the how minstrel shows, how they reinforce or kind of like perpetuate or normalize some of those stereotypes in the black community. And we were talking about, at least I was making the comparison. Well, if we view minstrel shows as painting us in a bad light to the public, right? Why don't we necessarily carry at least those same sentiments in the same way when it comes to rap music? That's that's where we were actually at, right? So for me, the comparison isn't the art themselves; it's the potential of carrying on the stereotypes, right? So that's where I'm making a comparison of them being, having a similar, being a similar conduit of that same thing. That's actually where we was at.
Did Reggie came in here? Did he say something?
No,
Yeah,
we don't
well,
I ain't
hear.
heard him say nothing yet.
yeah, well, I think that society has moved the issue for everyone, right? With AI, um, AI doesn't require people, artists, uh, concerts are not being concerts not being sold out, and many concerts are being canceled. They have a select few that could uh fill a concert, right? And we know their names, Kanye and uh Beyonce and Nicki and um most most of the rappers of the old days, except for maybe Jay-Z. If he wanted to do a concert, he could probably get an audience. That actually has moved. We're in a holding pattern right now where America is trying to figure out a lot of things, because people could see it very clear. There's not the money that the expendable money that people used to have, um, from the drug trade, like in New York City. Uh, Look, Washington Square Park is pretty famous in New York City, and it's always been an open market kind of drug market, right? Well, unfortunately, some brothers, many of them long time, uh, been in Washington Square Park. They sold to Robert De Niro's grandson, and Judith Stein's, uh, uh, how can I say, one of her uh, family members. These are white folks that buy drugs from black folks, and they died of fentanyl. So, what
Hmm?
New York City does is New York City makes them the scapegoat, and they arrest about 20 of them, right?
Hey,
Most,
Reggie, can I ask you a question?
mo- yes.
So my question is, when you look at minstrel shows, right? It's not difficult for you to just be disgusted, right? When you see a minstrel show, there's nowhere in there where you're like, well, I know this isn't beautiful all the time, but there's something in this worth preserving, right? Like there's something also here that I relate to enough to where the things I don't like about it I overlook, right? I'm basically saying I'm asking other people who are bigger fans of rap. Like for me, the last 10 years, I've become less and less of a fan. So maybe somebody who's still a fan can explain, what's that element that they're willing to like to keep in order to withstand some of the other things that they may not be.
Well, what I just tried to say, Logic, is that culture has moved on, right? So the minstrel shows are the low level, uh, you know, like comedy shops, like they're the low level shows, right? Minstrel shows usually have no more than 150 people in it, right? Generally, in the old days, right? And today we have comedy clubs, and we have these kind of low, small rap kind of like showcases, right? Okay. Well, they're struggling to survive, but they do exist. The main thing was the concerts. It moved to the concert, right? Now the concerts are interesting because the concerts is majority, believe it or not, well, not majority, but it depends on the outdoor ones are majority white, and then you got the big concert places, Radio City Music Hall and and Madison Square Garden in New York. I'm just talking about New York. Those they don't want rappers anymore. It's just too much of a hassle. Insurance costs, problems, right? They don't want that no more. So the music industry has kind of moved itself. So some of this we have to take in account that they don't exist like they existed in the 80s and the 90s. They don't in 2000s. They don't exist like that in the early 2000s. They don't exist like that no more. So music has moved, and now uh, so with the advent of portable audio and stuff like that, and videos, you 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 it's harder to see your favorite uh street minstrel rapper, right? It's harder to see them. Um, you might still have Summer Jam and stuff like that where you can go and see them, but generally it's at a decline. It's at a decline. Unfortunately, unfortunately, there was some positiveness because it was an outlet for some people to try to fulfill their dreams as being an artist. And many artists, that's not what they wanted to do, but they end up having to do it for the audience. Well, that's moved. um, that all of that stuff has actually moved. It's not a major part. I live in a big city. It's not a major part of the economy anymore, as far as shows is concerned. That it's in a holding pattern right now. So now what you have is YouTube. So YouTube is where you actually see artists. Uh, I mean, Hassan Campbell just put out a track, right? If uh, Walk with Me, right? That's where you see them, and they haven't figured it out because YouTube is not going to pay them what they thought, and SoundCloud and the rest is not paying any uh, any performer what they thought. So they're all in the decline. Shit, the Kardashians are in the decline. We're living in a new economy, and that's not the that's not the problem. The problem is abject poverty right now, right? That's the that's the ultimate thing when they turn off food stamps so they can't get this together, right? You're going to talk about people who can't eat. So we're going to have a different type of crime rate that's real. It's not theatrical like rap. It's actually real, right? People can't eat. You walking down the street, you're gonna get got, right? And so those are the things that we really have to think about, right? Unfortunately, there are many great artists. Uh, I think all artists play the line where they do something that they have a popular hit so that they can produce the music that they want to produce, right? So I have always said in a Black City plan, the problem is the cities and states, uh, should expand their municipality, their businesses, and go into the businesses uh, of theatrical and music and stuff like that, instead of having these corporations come into our cities and grab our best performing artists and turn them into trash, right? And basically, how basically super exploit them, right? And that cities and states should have more control of their pop, just like the athletics, right? Because that used to be our biggest earners, right? And then you have vertical and horizontal markets, things like barbershops and beauty salons, things like that. So believe it or not, rap and stuff like that is not a problem at this moment, right? What's happening right now is now people are acting it out for real. I would rather them act it out on stage, right? But where I am, they're acting it out in real life. And it has nothing to do directly with rap, except for it's a culture of poverty, right? So hmm, I think that we just have to factor in that the economy has changed and there's less access to money. Um, and that now is very, very real. So in New York, listen, there's a business of crime. Crime pays. Crime pays, but it doesn't pay the criminals. It pays the infrastructure. You pay for the judges, you pay for the courts, you pay for the lockup people, the correction officers, the police. That is paying, right? What's not paying is the artists. They are not getting paid. We're now part of failing schools. Schools failing is very successful, right? It's very successful. They have billion-dollar contracts on books that don't work, that they buy every year. They have all of these transportation services. All of the infrastructure is intact, and they're trying to figure out. But locking black people up, uh, that's very profitable, because once you're locked up, you're utterly a slave. Get cut off from your family. You are out there, um, uh, doing prison business for just for telephone calls,
Yeah,
right?
Can
but
I cut you off? Can I cut you off again? Because I feel like you might have answered the question and not answered it at the same time, which is I'm
That's
curious
right.
about that, but neither there. So like just a simple answer, right? Would you feel like there's an accurate comparison between minstrel shows and some rap?
Yeah, stereotype performances, cultural
Okay.
appropriation, right?
So
Satire, right? Self-parody,
mhm.
right? Um, yes, I believe that,
Yes.
but I think that that's part of
thank you.
entertainment. I think that that's part of entertainment. I think anytime that you
Well,
dress up, you are dressing up in a stereotypical performance. You put on chains. I don't care if it's a white tee and some chains and some jeans, but that's what's happening with the concerts. People ain't paying for that. They want to see they want to see 5, 6 wardrobe changes, right? They don't want to see you come on there and just wade to the music with a white t-shirt and some chains.
Yeah,
Shit. They want
but
to see
Reggie, hold on, Reggie, hold on.
yeah.
So logic. So think
mhm.
about the hey Branch, check the back chat and the group chat if you can. I was
Okay.
reading something when you was about what we was just talking about. So look, so if the minstrel shows or step and fetching, right, were playing a character that perpetuated all of the negative stereotypes
Mhm,
about black people for
mhm,
for his self uh for his own personal wealth, right?
mhm,
And then he would get that money, and then
mhm,
as justification for what he was doing, he would parade about or to black people that he's making all of this money. Now
mhm,
let's look and see if we can make some comparisons to hip hop acts that do similar things, where they play up all of the negative tropes about black people being black men being black men and black women being overly sexual, right?
mhm,
Being hyper violent, right?
mhm,
Being degenerates when it comes to money spending, right? Meaning they are not frugal at all, have no concept of money, buy the most gaudy shit, all of the negative stereotypes that they say about black people, right? Seem uneducated, not well spoken. You dig what
mhm,
I'm saying? All of these things, these rappers perpetuate, right? And then they come back in our communities and they wear the jewelry. They say I got all these clothes and I got this and I got that. I'm making all of this money. Was that what we seen Step and Fetch It or whatever that dude name? Is that what we read he was doing? Logic.
Yes.
That's what we read. And so your comparison when you was trying, I seen what you were saying. Like I don't know why everybody like we done went into so many different topics when you was specific about what you was talking about. And I think that you was specific about that that genre of hip hop that, you know what I mean, that highlights those things. I didn't think that you was talking about, you know what I mean, common sense or what's my man Sid Breeze homeboy name?
Hey, Logic.
J. Cole.
What's the
J.
Mr.
Cole or,
What's
or,
the
or
Mr.
somebody
Show
like
white
that.
invention? Is the
Huh?
Mr. Show a white invention? Question.
Is the Minstrel Show what?
A white creation?
Yes.
Yes, I
Okay.
believe so.
Okay. All right. Wait. You can continue, Chef.
Oh, yeah. So I think that's what you was speaking to, Logic, because we was making the conspiracy because we was talking about whether it was Stepin Fetchit. When Stepin Fetchit performed on the stage, he didn't color his face in black. You know what I mean? He just portrayed a certain stereotype of black
Sure.
people,
Sure. Yeah.
right?
Well, and then it moved to TV.
Mhm.
Fat Albert,
Okay.
Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids was on TV for many years. That's Step and Fetch It, right? Hubba Bubba Bubba, right? All of that stuff. Yeah, it's moved.
Mhm.
But what I was trying to throw in is actually what's really happening now. It's moved from surreal and theatrical to actually now back really in the field, and people are in survival culture and it's desperation, and then there's mental illness that goes along with this. So the big picture is rappers ain't making the money that they used to make. um they haven't been making it in the last 3-4 years, right? And so now we have something else brewing, uh, that so we don't have to look at rap per se, because that's because actually it's in the urban centers. You got young people now sitting on the corners thinking about how to get to this money, right? How to get to this money, right? And getting to the money is harming the people that's in their community to get to this money,
Yeah,
right?
but it wasn't. But it wasn't all. See it. All right. My parents didn't have a problem with us listening to Jungle Brothers, De La Soul, um, even Kid and Play. You dig what I'm saying? But
Correct.
NWA, they said, nah, bro, y'all shouldn't be listening to that.
Hmm.
That's crazy. You know what I mean? That's crazy. That's perpetuating negative stereotypes, right? And then people actually start emulating it. And for us to act like it doesn't happen, if it's people on the East Coast, you dig what I'm saying? Back in the late 80s, early 90s, walking around with Raiders jackets on, you dig what I'm saying? And trying to look like NWA and screaming "fuck the police." That
Mhm.
negative. Like, yes,
Hey,
they
Chef,
definitely have negative effects, and I think that's the broader conversation that we're having. We're not talking about Jungle Brothers, De La Soul. You dig what I'm saying? We're talking about the ones who are just, you know what I mean? Because
specific genres. We're talking about specific genres within hip hop.
yeah, but it would be hip hop. Like, I don't think we ever separated it though, DQ.
Well,
I mean,
I do as an
go ahead.
artist because that's what I was taught. Hip hop is the culture, rap may be the music of the culture. It's a difference how I look at it. So, I do know other people who do separate it like that. That's the reason why we was asking for clarification, and you even saying it in the different words, saying we're talking about a specific part of hip hop, a specific group of artists who perpetuate that, and we classify that differently through the genres, just like Fetty was saying. Fetty know if we're talking about drill rap, then we're specifically talking about that genre. We're not just not going to label it. So that's why I say that. But people do compartmentalize. And if you haven't been aware of that, then that's cool. But yeah, that's how I look at it. It's separated. Hip hop is a culture. It's not music. Hip hop is a whole culture. Rap is just the music of it. Then within rap, you have different genres.
Yeah, I think GQ is correct, but what I'm trying to say is the big picture is that that's good analysis, but it's moved to another level because of the economy, right?
Facts.
Because of the economy, it's different now. Now you don't need the music. They're acting it out for real because of the lack of community control and bad leadership, right? Because crime pays, it just don't pay us. Crime pays. It's very lucrative, right? And so now uh we don't have to there's the people, the culture, right, of hip hop, right, is in transition right now because it's harder to get paid. And so now that's why you see even with that Big Meech his organization, you've seen Blue Da Vinci. Blue's a rapper. Blue's a rapper, and then he found himself in a criminal enterprise. And then they want to label him a snitch, but he's really a civilian. He was an entertainer, right? And then he's in a criminal enterprise, right? And so you see our people, our entertainers, right, suffering. And now it's becoming real. So these entertainers now are finding themselves in fraud schemes, uh, sometimes violent robberies, setups, gambling type of thing that Takeoff and all of them was involved in, right? You see that type of stuff. It's moved to uh, now we're seeing it. Now we're seeing the final elements of it, right? And we have to make some good analysis of it. I feel for the talented rappers who, unfortunately, to get paid, have to put on a costume, right? And all rappers put on costumes. None of that is real. Nicki stuff is not real. Even what's my sister name? The one who Erica Badu. Erica Badu. All of the costumes, these are not. It's not what they look like in real life and stuff like that. But that's part of the theatrical part. But now, guess what? It's all went away. Like DQ's in the business. I mean, he could tell you, he like Brass and Najee could tell you about sales and DQ could tell you about the rap business and what's lucrative and what's not lucrative. He would like to be on a tour. He would like to be in a concert, right? He even if he made it to Summer Jam, right? He the amount of money that he would get on Summer, he would get exposure for his next phase, but the paycheck, don't you know, rap had moved from radio plays and all of that stuff, right? It moved to concerts and they just killed that. So now rappers are they're many of them unfortunately listen, they got big houses, they got kids, they got all of this stuff. They need that money, right? It's a lot of it's changed now. I don't want to muddy the water, but I wanted to give you the big try to give you
Yeah, I
the
don't
big
even know what
picture.
you talking about.
Yeah, your attempt to give us the bigger picture is kind of I'm not so it's starting to get like I'm not so sure where it actually applies to like our original stuff. That's why I was trying to
Right,
walk you
because
back
you
with just
want
like a simple question of yes, you feel like it's minstrel shows.
because you're
And
talking
honestly, what I
about
took out of what you said, go ahead,
yeah.
go
Well,
ahead.
would be well, see the thing is you're talking about you're talking about something 5 years ago, right? That's why you can't understand what I'm talking about. You're talking about something that we were trying to talk about 5 years ago, but now but now I'm talking about the economy of the business that stuff is not really that's not really selling,
Right.
right? And they're trying
Right.
to
So how can I imagine the economy of today being related to the question of minstrel shows in the 1920s and 30s and rap music? Like neither one of those are about economy.
Hey, but
yeah, but
logic. I'm not
yeah,
I'm not against making the comparisons because I do see like what y'all saying, but you should also give disclaimers regarding like the differences of those times and now, because like a lot of these rappers we talk about now and people in this entertainment business, they doing it and they still were offered other avenues of doing whatever they want. I think back then it was more so limited, and the social climate was different. So I think that's why you probably may be getting pushback by not acknowledging the differences first. But yeah, similarities. I agree with that part of it. Like the shit you talk about, like the symbolism, upholding negative stereotypes to the masses, and then ultimately not caring about the community that's listening to you and doing it for personal gain. I get all that. I mean,
Well, I mean, based on what Reggie said, and appreciate you for adding, Teddy, but based on what Reggie said, I think he brought up another point that I kind of didn't even think about. Right? He spoke about how the behaviors that rap at times can emphasize or perpetuate or make more likely for people to go out and do in real life. Typically, well, not typically, but they are very lucrative to other groups of people, right? Not to us. So not only like does it like perpetuate those stereotypes, and at times it actually stimulates that type of behavior. You get what I'm saying? So
Media
I
does
don't
that though,
know.
Logic. You get that?
Media does
Yeah,
it does. So
yeah.
right. So let me finish
Rap.
my statement. Let me finish my
Go ahead.
statement.
Go ahead.
So did Step and Fetch It do that? Right? Is that even a layer that Step and Fetch It maybe didn't reach? I'm scrutinizing it just to do it now. But did
Yeah.
Step and Fetch It like did they actually? So since Step and Fetch It came out, did he actually cause black people to be more lazy
No.
or to act more like Step and Fetch It? 'Cause I feel like
No.
rap actually does cause people to kind of act a little bit more like rap.
No. But that wasn't for us. The Stephen Fletcher and all that stuff, it
Right.
wasn't for the black community, it was for the white community. It wasn't for us.
Mhm.
Right. So well, that captured right there. That's what I meant by it could be worse. I think
Mhm.
like based on that
Good
portion,
point, Logic.
it might could be a little bit worse at times.
Damn.
yeah, because back then the
Drop
choices
a
was
bomb.
limited.
Now
Yeah,
y'all need
that
to
makes
drop
sense.
a bomb.
Yeah, you in the world where you're not really subjected
Let
to
me
that,
get there.
but
Let me
you still
get there.
No
choose.
bombs?
But you can't,
There we
you can't
go.
make a sweeping statement though. But I get what you're saying.
Hey, Logic.
You killed that, Logic.
I just dropped something in the chat, Logic. And that expressed some parallels, and that's the reason why I asked earlier was Minstrel Show's white creation or a black creation, because I know that's one of the separate differences between hip hop and Minstrel Shows. Because Chat GDP even said like, yeah, it's some parallels. It ain't exactly one, but it's definitely parallels, and they broke it down. But yeah,
I'm gonna take a second to go read that right quick.
yeah,
And they
it's
were
right there
doing
in the
it,
chat.
but we focus on. That's why it's just good to have to read. They were doing that not just to black people; they was doing it to other groups of people. We're sensitive to black people, but they was doing it to Jews and other groups of people, right? Um, in these minstrel shows, they were doing it to the gay community, right? It's just part of but it's always kind of like marketing research and stuff like that to see what would sell. These things uh but the issue is okay, so now we've moved. So we black hip hop and rap is unfortunately in a decline right now. Now you got the real minstrels where you got AI, where you got white producers. Watch this. You got white producers now creating black characters, right? So they don't even need the black people themselves to act it out. You got anonymous people creating AI characters to do what they want to do, puppets, and they are realistic. They look, their creations look black, right? Like I was just seeing Martin Luther King steal something from a supermarket, right? Like he goes into a supermarket and he orders something and they make it and he snatches it and he runs out, right? So now it's on a whole nother level because now they don't even need black people to act it out. They're acting it out with white producers or and black and Indian and whatever the case, right? To get YouTube money and Instagram money and TikTok money. They don't need so yes, but the genre has changed now. If you but we have to always think about how is this affecting our community, and do we have any answers for it, right? And I'm pretty, so that's why when we say minstrels, there is comparisons, and you could find it, but but we also have to be smart enough to see what the changes are from the 1920s and 30s and to 2025, right? So now they're creating ultra realistic AI material, right? They have much more control. It's very realistic. It's much more controlled. And in fact, the matter is, even those black folks who wanted to make money in that, they can't make money in it. Their money is capped right now, limited. So I understand if you don't understand what I'm talking about, but because I just try to look at big pictures and try to move things that are not really relevant. I'm always looking at the behavior of our people. Shit, the conscious community is a fucking minstrel. It's worse than rap, right?
Yeah, it's
They're
a mental
showing
show of Dr. Ben.
it's showing disbelief. Who said that about Dr. Ben?
Nobody.
Okay, so I know you want to do that to trigger me, but Dr. Ben is no longer alive anymore. So that doesn't matter. But the fact of the matter is, we have cosplay in our. We can't get good, accurate information anymore, right? Now there are people like me who actually knew these people who, when I think that there's a problem, I try to address the problem, the truth of the matter. I do try to be an honest scholar. I'm one of the few, right? In this times, I'm the most how can I say most known of probably a lot of the so-called uh, s- uh, not scholars per se, but people who find themselves on these social medias, right? Who actually try to be honest, right? Like I'm not a Sarasun Seti, right? I'm not
Come
an Indian.
on, bro.
I'm not in I don't try to I don't how can I say I try to be honest as far as who these people were and their limitations and what they did and what we can build on and maybe what we can discard, right? But you people, when Polite was out here, and listen, I spent a lot of time with Polite, but what I found out is that y'all love Polite. Y'all didn't love me. Y'all love Polite. Y'all didn't like real accurate information. Y'all love them. Y'all participated in it. Y'all participated in it. Y'all loved Umar Johnson. I know Umar Johnson. I've had arguments with Umar Johnson. Right? 10 toes down. Nah, you ain't gonna do this. But who you? You're not gonna do this, right? You and so I know all of these people. Tariq Nasheed. I met all of them. I could talk because I have been in in these places. There's not one of these people out here that I've not met. I met Minister Louis Farrakhan. I've met almost everybody. Henry Louis Gage, Cornel West, everybody, almost everybody, except for Neil deGrasse Tyson. I have not met him. So I'm gonna mute my mic. I'm gonna listen to you. I just want to say that, making comparisons between something that was 60, 70 years ago, I think it's better to kind of completely analyze what's going on right now, right? Because right now is the most important thing, not 30, 40. Yes, those things contributed to it. NWA,
That's so funny to hear from you because I will pop into your shows
yeah.
and say almost exactly that, right? While you'll be up there talking about Black Egypt, and you'll damn near cuss me out. That's so funny to hear from you. But for real, in all honesty, right? Trying to get back to maybe the spirit of what we're arguing about.
I got something I
So
want to throw in here
so
though, because I heard
one
polite
second, I'm
brought up.
one second. I'm gonna say something real quick. So I guess more of my argument is um, getting into like I just said. So Stephen Fetchit was his own thing, but people wasn't. I don't think people was out there trying to emulate Stephen Fetchit, right? So maybe I'm wrong. I really don't know, but I'm imagining that that's not the case. Whereas you do see, people out there trying to emulate rappers and they're getting themselves in trouble, causing them bad decisions. So I would almost say that rap has done more damage as far as perpetuating those stereotypes and stuff. Fletcher might have. And maybe I'm wrong by that. I might be overshooting it, but that's how I'm looking at
Rappers on criminals. Rappers on criminals. They're trying to emulate something that they thought was happening in the street. Most rappers are not tough guys. They're not tough guys, right? Most of them. DQ might be a tough guy, but most rappers are not tough guys.
Nah, man,
They,
I'm a lover. I'm a weed smoking, money making lover.
yeah, they get extorted.
it.
Most rappers, they get extorted by the gangsters. They not tough guys, right? At all, right? And then they like you can look at Jay-Z and you can try to make Jay-Z as tough as you want, but not from the streets of New York, right? He got the Haven and all the rest of them. They really did the work, right? His Tata and all of them. Jay-Z, he just benefited, right? He benefited. He cut deals with the Europeans, and they promoted him. He had different handlers, but he not he, everybody could be partly tough, but he's not a goon. He's not a goon, right? So and about the Black Egypt, listen, I spent 38 years. Uh, remember, I came from academia, right, from a Black Studies department. So I try to use what I know to try to clear up some misconceptions. But I do have a published paper in a journal. You're free to critique that, to review it.
What's your published paper about? Is it about stuff today?
Yes, it's about the ongoing dispute. It's entitled Kemet and Kemet to You, but it's really my target audience is not really the Black audience at all. My target audience is Egyptology, right? It's not you got to talk, somebody like me, brother Reggie. I'm the only African American on film that pushed back Dr. Hawass for his negative stereotypes, right? You can't find anybody else talking to Dr. Zahi Hawass and pushing back negative stereotypes in real time. So my audience is really not necessarily the Black audience or that, right? My audience is really dealing with problems in Egyptology. So I think that some people mischaracterize me. Um, they mischaracterize me. I never. Well, anyway, I don't want to get into that, but it's part of the minstrel and stereotypes. I don't have to dress up in white and wear an ankh to think that I'm special. What I got to do is communicate, try to publish, right, and continue a dialogue about that. While we think in our communities this is not important, the other communities, the Arab communities, the European communities, or how can I say, oppressing Black people because they are Black skinned and lying on them, lying on an African culture, right? Trying to depopulate Africa so that they can come in and get the resources of the people who were custodians, right? That's my issue, but that's not your issue. But I'll stop because I'm going too far off your point. So excuse me.
Yeah. So I mean, it's difficult to say because I understand how wide of a net I'm actually casting. I actually do. I understand where how it would be problematic to make it a 1-2-1. But I'm talking about in terms of like the effect that it had for the stereotypes. They both seem to play into the wrong hands as far as what image they are actually portraying. Right? That wouldn't, if we were to sit here and discuss what's a healthy self image of us, we wouldn't, I wouldn't say that would run parallel to most rap lyrics. So, or most of the I guess gangster rap. I don't. I mean, I'm trying to dress it up. I think y'all really know.
Hey, Logic, yeah, I totally get what you're saying now, especially once everything get in context. But I do want to add this part, because what Stephen Fetcher was doing back in that time, it was during that time period. If you read what I put in the chat, it stated that when capitalism got a hold of it, it grew into a whole different monster.
Right.
Now, so what you just said was if they would have emulated that during that time period, like I can see how that would have been worse, but that is actually what's happening with hip hop. So you got to use
Right.
that same formula, and it agrees sometimes. So I see where you're coming from. Now we walked it down with step by step. I totally see that viewpoint. But
Okay, but what about blacks? What
capitalism
about
has
blacks in corporate America? What about that minstrel show? Right? That's part of it. Blacks in corporate America.
What man?
What about that minstrel
I
show?
don't know. You tell us about it. I ain't never heard of that.
Oh yeah, yeah. You come in, you have lunch with your white coworkers, right? Um, they say whatever they want to say, and they always want to hear what you got to say, what you think about sports, what you think about crime, and the cooning that goes on in there. What about what about that? That seems safe because that's not you don't see the criminal part of it, right? But then those blacks that made it to corporate America, they start looking down on their own people, disassociating with them, not trying to help, right? Not trying to get solutions because they want to be comfortable with their white. What about that minstrel show? See, there's different type of minstrel shows. You're looking at something that you think is yeah, how can more overt instead of what's subtle, right? What's actually
Well,
subtle, the changing of classes, yeah, not wanting to, yeah, go ahead.
well, I mean, when I try to dive deep into like how subtle it is, I might have to. We might be describing something similar, but not exactly the same. You know what I'm saying? I could see where that might be somewhere related
Mhm.
to something that we're talking about, but not the music. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I'm not sure
Yeah, because
if
I
that
don't
would be a part of.
have a problem with you. See, there's the overt and then it's the subtle, right? It's easy to attack the overt, but I mean the overt, but the fact of the matter is our black intelligentsia, our black classes that have been successful, right? In the same time that rap was exploding and doing what they was doing, then we have less support from the people who actually made it, who had the resources, right? They started snickering and removing themselves from their their responsibility to the black community. We have all type of minstrel shows. So you're talking about the overt ones, right? What about the more subtle ones? And the subtle ones are the ones uh, who have probably actually done the most damage because, for example, some of our religious organizations and stuff, uh, uh, they had done less at a time when they used to do more with less. Now they do less with more, right? And then any stereotypes find themselves in, for example, in a black church with T.D. Jakes and messing with the hip hop artist himself and some of the exploitation of black boys, black men inside the church. All that shit is subtle, but that's minstrel. That's minstrel, but they got a cloth on and they got the cloth and they got the cross and all of that stuff like that. The super exploitation of women all throughout the period within the black church, right? Exploitation of black women or the marginalizing of black women during the civil rights movement from the big church. We have a lot of minstrel shows. Rap is overt. You can see it, but it's always good to blame the rap, but not blame those who have the capabilities, but they just want to live good, have their how can I say, get the nod when they walk into certain places. But the ones with the most resources have done actually the most damage. That's what's happening in our community because these people have removed themselves from responsibility in the community. So you could charge rap. It's easy. They're easy victim. Rap, right? I look at the more subtle type of the subtle type of situation where, for example, like in New York, my ex-wife, she's running for mayor in New York City. She lost the Democratic, but she being somebody that I know very well, she doesn't stop. So now she's a writing candidate, right, for mayor. But she just doesn't want to quit. She's not a quitter, right? She's not even thinking about losing or winning. She's thinking about in her lifetime, she wants to go the full course. But when she got on the ballot, or I had disappeared for a while, I was out in the streets. I was in the streets. I was getting signatures because I know how to get signatures. So we got her on the ballot, right? And then what happened when it comes to the debate and stuff like that? It was the Black Church. It was the NAACP. They were sharecroppers. They wanted Cuomo. They didn't want. They threw their hands off of Eric Adams. So now they sharecrop for This is our Black church in New York. They sharecropped for Cuomo. Cuomo, who has a disastrous record, but our Black folks says, you know what? If Cuomo comes up, he'll throw us a bone. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And it's real in the field because it's my own family that's involved in this, right? And my ex-wife, she how can I say? The chancellor of education in New York, she helped him in his early days. I went as a consultant to the schools that he was in to help them get better grades, right? Yeah, how can I say in STEM, right? But it's our Black people in power that shut out our own people for change. My ex-wife has a PhD in education and policy. She's the most qualified, right? She served 30 years in education, right? Failing schools to not failing schools in math and science. But but that's not what they want because she doesn't take bribes, she doesn't take deals, she doesn't take payouts, she doesn't do any of the things that the our normal upper class Black folks do, right? So that's why I could come to this panel and I could talk about real life stuff and about policy because I actually live it, right? I actually live it. And then I get clowned. I'm the clown, y'all. I'm the clown because I talk about Egypt. I'm the ancient Egypt. For academic reasons, I'm the clown. Y'all y'all crazy.
I just got back. What the hell happened? Hey, congratulations on
Hey,
my
hey,
90.
that's a good question. What the fuck is going on right now?
Hey,
I
Reggie.
don't know, man.
Hey,
Oh,
Reggie.
it's easy because you gotta be able to think. It's simple. What I did, Brass, was I said, okay, rap is an easy target for the minstrel,
No.
right?
How are you asking me to follow what you're talking about while I'm asking you to follow what we're talking about? How is that happening?
What's the
Because
disconnect? What's the
he
what's the
Even you
made the
yourself
point.
admitted that
Watch
some of the
this,
comments
Brass.
weren't directly related to what I was talking
Brass.
about.
uh-huh.
And
Brass.
then when I'm having problems following you, it's my fault.
No, it's not. Listen, I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm being kind. What I just said is that the point that you made about rap and rap being detrimental is an easy target. That's an easy target. That's easy. What I was asking you, so I was following you on that, and that's why I commented. I talked about the other minstrels that are actually more detrimental,
Oh,
right?
so that's the power to the political part. That's where you was going with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and so those people with the most who are in these organizations, social, civic organizations, right? Who communicate, right? They turn a blind eye as to what is going on. Then you got Maxine, people like in politics, Maxine Waters, who's in charge. Watch this. She's in charge of banking and stuff like that, right? She's in charge of these predatory loans, right? She did the biggest minstrel, right? She sided with them against us, right? No good legislation to protect black people from these predatory loans during the worst periods. Well, rap is one thing, but look what people like her did, right? Turn a blind eye. But we're gonna vote her in. She's from California. She's our auntie. We're gonna vote her in, right? But the fact of the matter is, there are things that affect us more, and the rap is just the rap and stuff is just a low level stuff. So excuse me again. I'll mute my mic again.
No, I get you. Logic. Does that make sense? Hey,
I mean,
congratulations
it
on
makes sense, and I acknowledge that. I'm sure that that our two conversations cross paths somewhere. But right now, we're just trying to walk down. We're trying to walk down the hip hop and minstrel show part, and you're moving us into like this economics and politics conversation. I hear what he's saying. I mean, I'm just trying. I'm trying to relate it to what we're talking about, and
Right, but
maybe
I'm saying
maybe I shouldn't be trying to relate it to that. I
what
don't know
he's
why.
saying. What he's saying is,
argument.
what he's saying is though, you're picking what he's saying is though, the
No, I get it.
analogy
He's
is
saying I'm picking the low hanging fruit,
right.
and I'm saying it at least with the low hanging fruit. I feel like we can agree on some of the foundational things to actually have a conversation. So if I'm having his conversation, now I think I got to get into a much bigger topics, and he's not wrong when he's saying that those type of activities are more harmful to us. I'm not disputing that. I'm not.
You got to pardon Reggie. He about to wake up tomorrow and have a socialist mayor, and people in New York ain't very happy about having a potential communist as a mayor.
It's a
of New York
glorious
City.
day in history. Is
He's really not a
is
socialist.
Well, the people in New York voted for him overwhelmingly.
Yeah, he's
It
not a
definitely put that criminal out of office, right? The one
Yeah,
that
hey,
the
listen,
same
y'all
police
can say
did
what
the
y'all
walk
want.
of shame.
Hey, Corey, I'm gonna tell you this: the funniest thing about New Yorkers, right? I still have same access to the Politico, and I still got access to like the approval polls and shit from in New York. This motherfucker, Mamdani is the weirdest person ever. And like we get back to the conversation, I apologize, but I just want to say this about Mamdani. This is at least current event. Mamdani definitely has the support of the people, but all the people that matter in New York City hate this motherfucker. It's the strangest. I've never seen someone get elected in New York without these people, because I know about the election.
That's the success. That's success in my eyes.
That's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Say that what you just said again, Brad. All the people that matter is
all the
off.
people that matter,
but the
people that like New York. New York is unlike most cities. Well, we already know that, but New York, you could have the greatest intentions. Reggie will tell you, you got the greatest intentions, greatest plan, this, that, and the other. But if it's about 27 to 50 people that if you don't get all of them, or at least the majority, and when I mean majority, I mean like 45 of them on the same plane, you're not getting elected.
No.
In this particular case, about 49 of them motherfuckers can't stand Mamdani. And he is most certainly going to be the next mayor of New York City. I can't even explain the shit at all. I don't even.
Thing.
I can't
explain that. Actually gives me hope for America.
It's a beautiful thing, because our so-called dependence on the black leadership, right? They kowtowed. They lost. We couldn't get a valid candidate. Right?
Well, you get Eric Adams and stuff like that when you only look for the black candidate and not the candidate that best suits your ideals and your morals and your values, right? When you go just for the skin color, then you get an Eric Adams, right?
But we
But
got,
when you
well,
go
yeah,
to the
but
poll
watch
with your
this.
morals and your values, you get
Okay.
somebody like
There's no
Zoran Mamdani.
moral.
He's a
There's no
communist.
moral values in New York City. All right, let's stop that shit. Okay.
Mamdani's a communist, bro. No, he's a
Cuomo,
democratic socialist. He's a
no,
democratic
watch
socialist.
this.
Nigga,
Cuomo,
communist story.
Cuomo people when he went for governor, right? They did they did the white thing with Cuomo, right? They did the white thing, and it's something that he did that they can't forgive. And the Republicans are really smart. They will rather have a Madami than a Cuomo, right? So they do the long planning. They do the long planning because they would rather not have a Cuomo in there for whatever the case. So they would rather throw the election to Mandami, right? So for another 4 years to get somebody back in that they want, right? So they think the long term because Cuomo is not the right candidate for New York. And don't tell me he's qualified. Don't tell me any of that bullshit because that's not the truth. Because when it came down to healthcare and COVID, tens of thousands, if not 100,000 people died because of his policy. He's the worst. He's the worst. So,
Well, he is qualified, though. I mean, if we being technical, I'm just like, I know, I'm not trying to nitpick on your point, but you said he wasn't qualified. He's definitely qualified, no question.
Right, but when you're the governor, you may be qualified on paper, but when you have a bad policy decision that hurts people, and for New York City, right, what happened during COVID, he is not going to ever be forgiven.
No, whether he's forgiven or not, hold on, Reggie. Whether he's forgiven or not, the man was Attorney General, head of Department of HUD, and the governor of New York City for 10 years. He's qualified to be the mayor of any city in the country.
Okay, so my nuances is that yes, he's qualified.
Okay,
but
that's all.
And
now, does he do the job good? No.
Yeah.
Is he the greatest, or when it comes down to great decisions, is he gonna make some mistakes? Yeah, but his qualifications are unquestionable. He's mayor, the governor of any state for 10 plus years. You're stepping down to be the mayor. I was surprised he even did it. I knew people put him up to that because there's no reason why he even did it. And then last name, listen, politics. I know politics. The last name Cuomo is you can't even pay for the value that you get just from your last name being Cuomo. It's no different. If the only thing better would be is if your last name was LaGuardia. There's no, it's just, it's name recognition. Or Bloomberg, yes, or Bloomberg. Yeah.
Is this being recorded?
Yeah, don't say nothing crazy.
All right, never mind.
Yeah, you about to say some wild shit.
The problem is the black. What was interesting to me is the black leadership in New York City became sharecroppers. They became sharecroppers. Master, you sick? Well, we gonna get you well. We gonna get you well. Yeah. How's our crop coming? We gonna get something. You gonna get a little extra, Master, right? Yeah. So the black, right? When New York City is, it has a very large black population, voting population, right? They became sharecroppers.
Well, that's because Eric Adams didn't stop. Eric Adams was so busy running a RICO enterprise in New York City that he didn't really give a damn what was actually going on, long as he didn't get caught and he could further his enterprise. He was literally running a RICO, no question.
Exactly. But when the head of the NAACP, who passed away, right? When he was in trouble, and the black leadership from the ones who's supposed to protect us the most came out to protect somebody who's RICO bound, right?
How come we didn't get upset when Trump pardoned Eric Adams for those crimes that he committed to you guys in New York?
No, we had that conversation. Yeah, we did. We had that conversation, Corey. We had a show on that.
Yeah, we're upset.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous because some of that shit that Eric Adams was doing, that was costing human lives. I mean, you could tail it back to literal lives lost. They were him and Cuomo. They were making decisions that, like, at that point, it's one thing when you're running a grift, some snake oil. They was running shit where people were dying and they knew. So yeah, we definitely spoke.
Our clergy, our high-end clergy, right? In our civic organizations like NAACP, they complicit. They complicit, right? Because they should come out and say, nah, let justice run its course. They get over there and they pray. They got they even have Reverend Daughtry, who I love. They have him and the sister from the NAACP. They have him there, and he's indicted on real crimes, right? And his whole cabinet is indicted, and so this wasn't a witch hunt. These were he had a whole family, the Banks. He had three brothers, right, involved from one family, the Banks brothers. One the chancellor, one
He was running a RICO, bro. You just, I mean, all you're doing is describing he was running a literal conspiracy organization. He was doing the whole thing. I miss my I would be remiss if I didn't say rest in peace to the sister. What was her name, Reggie? Hazel Dukes. Yep. Rest in peace to that sister. She died this year in March. Beautiful funeral. And she was probably the most powerful. That's when the city, when the city was, she was just very impressive. My father speaks highly of her. All my uncles speak highly of her. But that when she was ahead of the NAACP, and she went through the civil rights movement, so she had a good understanding of cussing some people out, and she would still get stuff done. People were afraid of her. She passed at 90. She passed at 92, like a year ago.
And
matter of fact, no, not even a year ago.
Right,
a couple months ago.
Her last big political statement was coming, believe it or not, in defense of Eric Adams with Reverend Daughtry.
Yeah, right? I think she was a little well. You go. I'm gonna just say she was in her 90s. I'm not counting what she's saying in her.
No, I'm just trying to say is
no, I get it. No, I get it. I'm just telling you, I'm not counting what she's saying at 90 plus years old.
No, I agree, but I am not taking anything away from Hazel Dukes.
No. I ain't say you was doing that.
But she's part of what happened is there's a cabal of Black leadership who think that they are important, right? And because they manipulate the Black vote, and now they become sharecroppers.
You like right? you on the road with that word today.
I know because it's in real life. My ex-wife, she goes to Abyssinian Baptist Church. They give Adrian Adams 20 minutes. They give Cuomo 30 minutes. They give my ex-wife 90 seconds.
Yeah, you know what? It's Abyssinian Baptist Church. For those that don't know, you might as well put a V in front of Abyssinian Baptist Church. And then two, that's political. You know how that shit go, Reggie. That's not like it was a slight, and it was deliberate, but it's also they can always fall on back on the fact that we allowed you to speak. You know what I mean? It's a little.
That's fine because when the beautiful thing is not like a lot of people. I'm Brother Reggie, right? I'm Brother Reggie, so I'm very civic. I'm very civic, and I'm an activist. When I see him in the street outside his church, I'm gonna dress him down like I dress down people generally, right? Police officers and everybody, right? I will dress him down in the street outside of his pulpit. He got power in his pulpit, but on the street, that's the beautiful thing. Is we don't use our street, how can I say, a power of the street to deal with people like that. We let them walk and eat and go to these places, and we say nothing to them. Oh, that's son, can I take a picture? Nah. You's a sharecropper, right? And ain't nobody, what you gonna do? You gonna call the police? I got freedom of speech. You was a sharecropper, right? And that's what the beautiful thing about black politics, black people in politics, people like Dr. Khaled Muhammad and the rest of them, they spoke directly. We speak directly to our politicians when we get access to them, right? You can't run. You can't run. You're gonna get all the names that I can't say in the church. You're gonna get all
Reverend Butts.
Huh?
Reverend Butts.
Now, Reverend Butts is very interesting. Reverend Calvin O. Butts, right? I knew him for 35 years when he was a junior minister. And he was selected, believe it or not, right, by the black community and Dr. Leonard Jeffries. And we did his when Reverend Proctor, we campaigned to Reverend Proctor. We got him there, and Reverend Butts helped give me my first job at the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture. Very interesting person. He had a mid ground. He had a mid ground. He wasn't perfect, but he did love black people in the scheme of the system, right? And listen, I was at his installment. Well, not his installment. We bought an African chief
Mm-mm.
to do his ceremony on stage of Abyssinian Baptist Church, right, where the African Bafo, right, Nana Bafo. I had to go and buy the gin, y'all. I bought the gin for the ceremony, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they said to me, "Dag, Reggie, why'd you buy the cheap gin?" You only gave me $20.
Yeah. The gin they
But
drink, the gin they drink is a bit of a number. That's all I say. It ain't no cheap. It ain't no cheap was probably good to most people. I got some issues with he was a little corporate for me though. They kind of talked about him like he was John Lewis, but he was more of a I don't know. He was more corporate than I
brother Reggie, you're making me, brother Reggie is making me respect this man a lot more than I did. So I'm hearing you, brother Reggie, because I didn't have a lot of love for Calvin Butts before. I didn't
Well,
know.
since we talking about hip
Yeah,
hop,
go ahead.
I only brought him up because Reggie mentioned Dr. Khalid, and Dr. Khalid and Reverend Butts had an issue when
Right.
Dr. Khalid
I mean,
had.
see Dolores Tucker, Calvin Butts. You know those guys were like those. Everybody knows that era. You know, it is what it is. Like so, I appreciate you educating me, brother
Hey,
Reggie, because I couldn't
Reverend
stand
Butts
it.
got a steamroller. He got a damn
Uh-huh.
what do you call it? What do you call it?
yeah,
Asphalt roller. And every negative
and
rap video
rolled over the damn
And
CD.
rolled
rolled
over the
over,
tape. Yeah, yeah.
rolled over the
That's what I know him for.
But Reggie, I don't know how close you was to him, and I ain't calling him a crook, but I thought it was a little sketchy about that real estate shit he was doing. I thought it was a little sketchy. That's all. That's all.
It's
I'm not gonna
funny in the
say he's a
early
crook
days.
because everybody got their own relationships, but it was
Reggie,
definitely a little
Let me tell you
suspect.
this. I consulted for Karen Phillips, which was the head of his Abyssinian Development Corporation. I worked for
Yeah.
Schomburg, and they lend me out to work for the Abyssinian Development Corporation. They lend me out, right? What it was is that they had got the word that they were going to do the empowerment zone, and that Harlem was going to be resold back, right? So what his thing was, the first like 100, 100, 200 brownstones is going to go back into the black community. That's not non-negotiable, right? So one of the things that happened was that they picked 200. They had lotteries